Our Crazy World. In the book, The City and the Stars from Arthur C. Clarke, written in 1956, the predicted technology was called immersive virtual reality games, which we could compare to today as a central computer, which virtually ran the city. The City and the Stars takes place at least 2.5 billion years from the present in the city of Diaspar. By this time, the Earth's oceans have gone, and humanity has all but departed. As far as the people of Diaspar know, theirs is the only city remaining on the planet. The city is completely enclosed. Nobody has entered or left the city for as long as anybody can remember, and everybody in Diaspar has an instinctive insular conservatism. In Diaspar, the entire city is run by the central computer. Not only is the city repaired by machines, but the people themselves are created by the machines as well. The computer creates bodies for the people of Diaspar to live in and stores their minds in its memory at the end of their lives. The Big Donor Show, a hoax reality television program in the Netherlands about a terminally ill woman donating her kidneys to one of 3 people requiring a transplantation. After receiving backlash, Laurens Drillich, the chairman of BNN at the time, defended the program and argued that the network deliberately wants to shock people and draw attention to the shortage of organ donors. The production company took a statement. "We very much agree that it's bad taste, but we also believe that reality is even worse taste. I mean, it's going very, very bad with organ donorship in the Netherlands. We as a broadcaster, BNN, had someone who started our TV station who needed kidneys and was on a waiting list and died eventually at the age of 35. That happened 5 years ago, and in the last 5 years, the situation has only gotten worse in the Netherlands. Let there be no misunderstanding. I would never make a program such as The Great Donor Show for real. I do understand the massive outrage very well, but I also hope for people to understand why we did this. It was necessary to get the shortage of donors back on the political agenda. I call up everybody to get very angry about that and to fill in a donor form." The day after, 30,000 donor forms were requested, and 2 days after the show, the official Dutch TV news broadcast, Noos News, announced that 50,000 people had requested a donor form to be sent to them. In July, a month after the show aired, 7,300 new donors were registered by the Dutch donor registration. On January 12, 2008, the scene during which Patrick Lodiers revealed that the show was a hoax with the purpose of drawing attention to the Dutch donor shortage problem was voted as the best Dutch TV moment of the year 2007. During a brief speech, the chairman of BNN, Laurens Drillich, said the following: "The show was aired in June, today is January. Dutch politicians promised to put donor shortage on their agenda. We're still waiting for a reaction."
Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Donor Show was a hoax, so don't worry and enjoy your dinner. I really want to thank the Academy for this prize, and I want to thank Endemol and of course BNN, because it was a big stunt in the Netherlands. And we want to dedicate this prize to all the people on the waiting list who were waiting for a donor transplantation, and that's what it was all about.
In October 2010, Northern Irish filmmaker George Clarke uploaded a video clip entitled Chaplin's Time Traveler to YouTube. The clip analyzes bonus material in a DVD of the Charlie Chaplin film The Circus. Included in the DVD is footage from the film's Los Angeles premiere at Grauman's Chinese Theater in 1928. At one point, a woman is seen walking by, holding up an object to her ear. Clarke said that, on closer examination, She was talking into a thin, black device that had appeared to be a phone. Clark concluded that the woman was possibly a time traveler. The clip received millions of hits and was the subject of televised news stories. The Crying Boy is a mass-produced print of an allegedly cursed painting by Italian painter Giovanni Bragolin. This was the pen name of the painter Bruno Amadio. It was widely distributed from the 1950s onwards. On September 5, 1985, the British tabloid newspaper The Sun reported that an Essex firefighter claimed that undamaged copies of the painting were frequently found amidst the ruins of burned houses. By the end of November, belief in the painting's curse was widespread enough that The Sun was organizing mass bonfires of the paintings, sent in by readers. A Mrs. Woodward of Forest Hill, London, destroyed her picture, believing it to be responsible for the loss of her son, daughter, husband, and mother in separate fire-related incidents. In December 1985, 67-year-old William Armitage died in a mysterious fire that swept through his house in Weston-super-Mare, Avon. It was discovered that The Crying Boy picture was found intact, lying beside the pensioner's charred body. One of the firemen who dealt with the blaze was afterwards quoted as saying,
"I've never believed in the jinx up until now, but when you actually come across a picture in a gutted room and it's literally the only thing that hasn't been touched, it is most odd."
The Tamul Bell is a broken bronze bell with an inscription of Old Tamil. The bell is a mystery due to its discovery in New Zealand by a missionary. Although nobody knows for certain how the bell came to New Zealand, one possible theory is that it was dropped off by Portuguese sailors who had acquired it from Tamil traders. Prior to being discovered by the missionary, local Maori had used it as a cooking pot. Given that it was supposedly discovered generations earlier, the artifact's exact origins could not be identified. The bell is now located at the National Museum of New Zealand. According to William Colenso, he noticed the object when visiting a Maori village in the North Island in the 1830s, being the first European to visit the village. According to Colenso, the women of the village said it had been with them for many years, and that it had been found in tree roots after a storm toppled the tree. He recognized the object as part of a ship's bell and traded a cast iron pot for it. Ararat Lunatic Asylum, or Airedale, is the largest abandoned lunatic asylum in Ararat. Opened in 1867, Airedale was reserved for many of the incurable mental patients in Victoria during the 1800s. An estimated 13,000 people died here during 140 years of operation. While reports exist of apparitions, phantom sounds, visitors experiencing nausea, fainting, and pain, some ghosts from Airedale's past have made themselves known to those who are alive today. As an example is the apparition of George Fidimont, known as the Governor. George was showing a group of people around the asylum when they started down a set of stairs. Suddenly, George falls to his knees, suffering a major heart attack. He died on the spot. It is said that you can hear heavy footsteps and banging on that same stairwell, but when they go to take a look, no one is there. Or ghost named Gary. Gary Webb was a career criminal and had a long rap sheet when he was finally taken into custody and sent to stay at Airedale. Gary got comfortable at Airedale and started to write letters to the media telling them the inhuman and horrible things he was planning to do once he got out. Citizens began to worry, and a special law was passed to keep him contained at Airedale for the rest of his life. Gary started to self-mutilate at this time and was hospitalized over 70 times. He even castrated himself 3 times during his sentence. Today, Gary is said to haunt his former room, screaming at visitors to get out and pushing them out the door. Visitors to the asylum who happened to walk past the office of the former superintendent report a sudden bitter taste in their mouth. A strange sensation indeed. But according to reports, the superintendent became distraught in his life and committed suicide in his office after swallowing cyanide.